in C#.NET. So here, first of all, you must know what is an assembly. Simply you can tell assembly is the compiled format of any .NET program, which may be .dll or .exe, which may be .dll or .exe. .dll is dynamic link library. Dynamic link library. .exe is direct executable file. Direct executable file. So assembly is the compiled format of any .NET program, which may be .dll or .exe. So generally, whenever you write any program in C#.NET, every C#.NET program must save with .cs extension. And whenever we compile the program, any language you learn, you have to follow 4 steps. First one is write the program. Second one is save the program. Third one is compile the program. Fourth one is execute the program. 4 steps are there. Write the program, save the program, compile the program, and execute the program. So every C#.NET program must save with .cs extension. Whenever we compile the program, compiler will check for syntax errors. If there are no syntax errors, then compiler will generate .exe file or .dll file. .exe file is direct executable file. .dll file is reusable file. Direct executable file. .dll is dynamic link library. It is nothing but reusable file. We cannot directly execute .dll file. If you want to execute .dll file, you have to consume the DLL file in any of the executable project. Okay. So generally, whenever we develop any application, we need to write coding. And this coding is basically divided into 2 types. One is predefined code, other one is user-defined code. Coding is basically divided into 2 types. One is predefined code and the other one is user-defined code. Is it clear? Predefined code means the coding that was written by Microsoft. Microsoft has given some set of predefined classes, predefined methods to make your work very easy. So all Microsoft will give these predefined classes and methods under DLL files. User-defined code means the coding that was written by the developer depending on the user requirement. The type of coding is called as user-defined code. So first of all, you must have the knowledge on one concept called what is base class libraries. So Microsoft has given a lot of predefined classes, methods to make your work easy. So if you go to any library, in library what are there? Books are there. All the books are arranged in the form of racks. Rack number 1, rack number 2, rack number 3, so on. All the general knowledge books, GK books in rack number 1. Some science related books in rack number 2. Some history related books in rack number 3. So why they arranged all these books in these racks means easy for identification, easy for accessibility, and to control the memory. Easy, instead of allocating memory for all the classes, the required class only the memory will get allocated. So in .NET also you have base class libraries. So base class library is collection of namespaces. In .NET you have a lot of concepts are there. If you want to work with the database, you have some database related classes, database related methods are there. If you want to work with collections, some collection related classes, collection related methods. If you want to work with generics, if you want to work with threading, if you want to work with files, if you want to work with XML, like if you want to, like Microsoft has given a lot of predefined classes and methods to make your work easy. And these all classes and methods they kept in namespaces. Kept in what? Names. In C language we have header files are there. In Java you have packages are there. In .NET you have namespaces are there. So namespace is collection of classes. Classes consists of methods, properties, constructors, etc. Is it clear? So here Microsoft has arranged all the classes related to particular category in one namespace. So namespace is collection of classes. In C language you'll call it as header files. In Java you'll call it as packages. In C Sharp, you will call as namespaces. Is it clear? So namespace is a collection of classes. For example, here you see there is one namespace called system. In this namespace, you have one predefined class called console. And under console, you have some predefined methods like write method, similarly write line method, similarly read line method. These all are the ready-made methods that are available. So all the methods belongs to, these all are available under console class, and the console class is available under system namespace. Similarly, if you want to work with the database, you have to declare the namespace, something like system.data.sql client. Here you have all the database related classes like SQL connection class, similarly SQL command class, SQL connection class, similarly SQL command class, similarly SQL data reader class, similarly lot of predefined SQL command builder class. Under these classes, you have some ready-made methods are there like open method, close method. Here something like execute scalar method, like lot of methods are there. So Microsoft is telling developer, when you work with ASP.NET or when you work with ADO.NET or when you work with ASP.NET MVC or Entity Framework, or if you work with WCF or Web API, or if you want to work with exception handling, or if you want to work with collections, generics, threading, files, like lot of predefined concepts are there. Is it clear? So whenever you want to work with these topics or technologies or frameworks, or Microsoft will give you some ready-made libraries to make your work very easy. As a developer, your job is creating the object and invoking the method. That's it. And technology point of view or any of the advanced topics, our job is just creating the object and invoking the method. So all these libraries are kept in under base class library. So base class library is collection of namespaces. Namespace consists of classes. Classes consists of methods. Method consists of code. Is it clear? So assembly is a compiled format of any .NET program, which may be .dll or .exe. .dll assembly is nothing but what, all of you? It may be either .dll file or .exe file. .dll or .exe consists of what? Namespaces. Namespace consists of what? Classes. Classes consists of what? Methods. Method consists of what? Code. So assembly is the compiled format of any .NET program, which may be .dll or .exe. .dll is dynamic link library. .exe is direct executable file. .exe is you can directly execute the .exe file, but we cannot execute .dll. We have to consume the .dll file in any of the executable project. Okay. So here, what is the namespace? Here you can tell something like assembly is collection of namespaces. Simply you can tell assembly is collection of namespaces. Okay, assembly is collection of namespaces, and here namespace is collection of classes. Collection of classes. Class consists of methods. Okay now. So here syntax to declare the namespace is namespace name. Here bracket open, bracket close. In this namespace, you can write the classes. Single namespace can have multiple classes. Single assembly can have multiple namespaces. For example, here I have one namespace called N1. Is it clear? And here I'll try to declare one more namespace, something like N2. Okay, now this is another namespace, that is N2. Okay, so this collection of namespaces you can kept in one DLL file, .dll or .exe. Is it clear? Here Microsoft has given one namespace. Namespace, the name of the namespace is system. Okay, and here you have one class. The name of the class is console. Is it clear? And within this class you have some methods are there. Something like this: public static void write. It is one method. Is it clear? Similarly, here you have one more public static void write line. Similarly, here you have what? One more public static void read line. These all are the ready-made methods that are available. Is it clear? So if you want to consume these methods, you have to use the namespace name. For example, I want to write one program here, class test, and here I'll try to declare one main method, some static void main. So these DLL files are given by Microsoft. If you want to create, you can create your own DLL file. Is it clear? So here, now I want to print the statement. I want to use this method, writeLine. WriteLine is a static method available under console class. So if you want to consume this particular methods, you have to use this namespace. So here you have to write using system. Using is a keyword which is used to import the namespaces. If you are not using this namespace name, you will not have the permission to access this classes and methods. So I can write like this, console.writeLine. If you're not writing this using system, here you will get an error. Is it clear? So using system is mandatory. If you want to consume the predefined classes and methods, you have to import the namespace, or you have to use the namespace name. Or if you don't want to use this namespace, one more option is there. You can directly invoke the class by using namespace name. System.console.writeLine, system.console.readLine. So instead of every time writing this system.system. You can use this particular namespace name. I hope you understood. So namespace is collection of classes. Assembly is collection of namespaces. Namespace is collection of classes. Classes consists of methods. These all DLL files will be installed when we install .NET Framework. Whenever we install .NET Framework, then automatically all these DLL files will be installed. If you want to see, go to your C drive. There you can see program files. There you can see Microsoft.NET. Microsoft.NET. There you can, go to your C drive. There you can see Windows. There you can see Microsoft.NET. There you can see assembly. There you can see GAC_MSIL. Here you can see these all are DLL files only. These DLL files will support for you to develop the applications fastly. Here you can see system. Here you can see, here you can find one DLL file, system.dll file. Is it clear? So if you want to create your own DLL file, you can create. So simply assembly is compiled format of any .NET program, which may be .dll file or .exe. Is it clear? So different types of assemblies are, is it clear? Different types of assemblies are, first one is private assembly, second one is public assembly, or shared assembly, third one is satellite assembly. Assemblies are of three types: private assembly, public assembly, and shared assembly. Let us see what is private assembly. The assembly that was specific for a single application, or a specific folder is called as private assembly. The assembly that was specific for a single application or a specific folder is called as private assembly. Is it clear? Private assembly is also called as folder specific assembly. Private assembly is also called as folder specific assembly. That is, whenever we consume, assembly is nothing but a DLL file only here. That is, whenever we consume the DLL file, then a separate copy of DLL file is copied in each and every folder. So private assembly is also called as folder specific assembly. Whenever you consume the DLL file, then a separate copy of the DLL file is copied in each and every particular folder. So private assembly is also called as folder specific assembly. So what is the meaning of that? I will tell you. For example, I am creating one DLL file. Extension is .dll. DLL is collection of namespaces. I told namespace consists of classes. Classes consists of methods. Method consists of code. So whenever you create a DLL file, I want to consume this DLL file because we cannot directly execute the DLL file. You can consume the DLL file either in console application or in Windows Forms application or in web application. So generally when you create any project in your system, a separate folder is created for each and every particular project. Yes or no? So whenever you consume the DLL file, especially private assembly, a separate copy of the DLL file is copied in each and every particular folder. So, for example, the size of the file may be some KBs, some file will be there, and that file is copied in multiple times. Until now, how many times you written this program? Programs, if you until now we have done more than 100 programs in my system. So every time you are writing using system. Using system means system.dll. It is a DLL file. So every time when you create a new project, that DLL file will be copied in each and every particular folder. So unnecessarily waste of memory. At some point of time, your hard disk will fill only with the repeated DLL file. That is private assembly. The assembly which was specific for a single application or a specific folder. Whenever we consume the DLL file, a separate copy of the DLL file is copied in each and every particular folder. So it is also called as folder specific assembly. Is it clear? Which assembly? Private assembly. Okay. Public assembly means simply the assembly, public assembly means the assembly that was registered. Can you hear me, everyone? The assembly that was registered under GAC is called as public assembly. Is called as public assembly. Simply you can tell public assembly is also called as shared assembly. Shared assembly. That is, after creating the DLL file, we have to place the DLL file. We have to place the DLL file in GAC. So whenever we consume the DLL file, then the DLL file is not copied. Then DLL file is not copied in each and every folder. Is it clear? So public assembly means all the DLLs that was given by Microsoft are kept in a common location. That is called as GAC, Global Assembly Cache. In interview they will ask you what is GAC. If you keep one DLL file in this GAC, and whenever you consume this DLL file in multiple applications, this DLL is not copied in each and every folder. Directly you can access the DLL file from GAC location. That is public assembly or shared assembly. Why it is called as shared assembly means a single DLL file is shared to all the applications. So all the predefined DLLs given by Microsoft are what? Shared assemblies only. All the DLLs given by Microsoft, all are shared assembly. You no need to copy that DLL file. See, these all are available under this location, assembly folder, C drive. There you can go to Windows folder. There you can go to assembly folder. There GAC underscore MSIL. And here you can see these all are DLL files. These all DLL files will install when we install .NET Framework. If these DLL files are not available, you don't get support to develop the application. Is it clear? So what is .NET actually? .NET is a framework. It provides some set of class libraries. And it will provide a runtime environment. What is the purpose of this class libraries? These class libraries consist of namespaces, classes, methods, etc. So at the time of developing the application, we have to use the class libraries, and this runtime environment, it will provide CLR to execute the program. One is to develop the application, take the support of this class libraries. Other one is to run the application. Means memory allocation, everything. Is it clear? So whenever we install .NET Framework, all the DLL files will be installed. So let us say how to create a DLL file. Is it clear? How to create a private assembly. In order to create .dll file, we have to select a class library template. In order to create a DLL file, we have to select what? Class library template. Is it clear? CLR is not assembly. CLR is a runtime environment for memory management, memory allocation, deallocation, compilation, debugging. Everything will take care by CLR. In Java, you have JVM. .NET, you have CLR. So let us say I will try to create you one example how to create one DLL file and how to consume the DLL file. So go to F drive. Here I will try to right click, new folder. I will try to create one new folder. The name of the folder I will give as my assembly. I will try to create one folder in F drive. So I want to save the project in this folder F drive. So open your Visual Studio Editor. I'll try to open my Visual Studio Editor. Is it clear? Here you can go to Visual Studio Editor. Okay. So two steps will be there. One is to, I will use 2015. One is to create the DLL file. Other one is to consume the DLL file. So what is happening in private assembly? Whenever you consume the DLL file, the DLL file will be copied in a separate folder. Yes or no? Here I will try to want to create one DLL file. So go to new project. There you can select. If you want to create a DLL file, you have to select class library template. So here I am trying to select Visual C#. You can develop different types of applications. If you compile any console application, it will generate .exe file. But I want to create one DLL file. Select class library. Select browse. Where you want to save this DLL file. I think I created one folder in F drive. So go to F drive. There you can see one folder with name my assemblies. Under F drive, I create one folder with name my assemblies. Where it was created in F drive, I think. So go to F drive. There you can select the folder my assembly. Is it clear? And here I will try to create one DLL file. The name of the DLL I will give as my DLL. Okay. This is project name. This is solution name. Click on OK. So whenever you compile this class library project, it will generate .dll file. Okay. So here one DLL file is creating. You can go to one important point is .exe file will have main method, but .dll file does not have main method because you cannot directly execute the .dll file. If you want to execute, you have to consume the DLL file in any of the executable project like console application or Windows Forms application or web application. The name of the class I'll try to give as something like some A. And here in this class I'll try to declare one method, something like this, public void show. And here I'll try to declare one method, console.writeLine of I am show. Is it clear? So here let us see. This is my DLL file, console.writeLine of. Here I'll try to print I am show. So here you can see, go to view, go to solution explorer. There you can see this is my class. If you want, you can change the class name as a.cs. Otherwise, right click, rename. You can rename the class. Okay. Now you have to build the solution. Build means compilation. Build the solution. Now my DLL file is ready. Go and check. Go to your folder, F drive. There you can see my assembly. There you can see my DLL, your project name. Press select, and there you can see again my DLL. There you can see bin. There you can see debug. There you can find the DLL file. I think still it is, the project is building. After build successful, you can find. Here you got build started. Okay. You cannot directly execute the DLL file. You have to consume the DLL file in any of the executable project. So if you try to put this, get what? Error. Because we cannot directly execute the DLL file. It is taking some time. Okay. So if you go and check in that location under bin debug folder, you can see one DLL file is generated. Is it clear? Still the build is continuing. You got build succeeded. Go and check in that folder. Go to debug and see. Here one file is created with name mydll.dll file. If you observe clearly, the size of the file is 4 KB. Now I want to consume this DLL file in console application. I want to consume this DLL file in the console application. So what to do? You have to create one more project. You have to create one more project, Visual Studio 2015. So I'm already, why? To consume the DLL. To consume the DLL file, I'm creating one more project. Here you can open Visual Studio 2015. So this is console application actually. Previously I created one class library, that is DLL file. Now I'm creating one console application to consume the DLL file. Okay. The name I will give as something like consume DLL file. Consume DLL. Click on OK. So two projects are there. One is, two times I opened Visual Studio. One is I created the DLL file. Other one is I'm trying to consume the DLL file. Is it clear? Creating the DLL file and consume the DLL file. Create the DLL file and consume the DLL file. Are you following everyone? So I want to create the DLL file. Already I created one DLL file. Now I'll try to consume the DLL file. This is my DLL file. You cannot execute. If you press start, you will get error. See, what is the error? A project with an output of type class library cannot be started directly. In order to debug this project, an executable project is required. So you cannot directly execute the DLL file. In order to execute the DLL file, you have to consume the DLL file in any of the executable project. That's the point we are discussing here. Yes or no? Yeah, 1 minute. Where I created the console application. This is consume DLL. Yes, my project is creating. So in order to consume the DLL file, what to do means go to Solution Explorer. Go to Solution Explorer. There you can see references. So if you want to consume the DLL file, you have to add the DLL file under references. So right click on references. Then only you will get the permission to access the DLL file. This is a separate project. My DLL is in separate location. If you want to consume the DLL file, you have to add the DLL file under references. So go to Solution Explorer, right click on references, add reference. There you can select add reference. Go to the location, browse. Here you can select browse. Sir, no. There you can go to F drive. There you can select my assembly folder. Under F drive, you can find my assembly folder. There you can find your DLL file, my DLL. Here you can find my assembly. There you can find my DLL. There you can find my DLL bin debug. Select the mydll.dll. Click on add button. Click on OK button. Now you added the DLL file in your project so that you can consume the classes and methods that are available in that particular DLL file. Okay, so here you can see. Here my DLL is added under your references. Okay. So in order to consume the DLL file, you have to use the namespace. Using here simply you can write my DLL. Is it clear? So that you can consume the classes and methods that are available in the DLL file. So I'll try to create an object for my class. You can create directly by using namespace name dot class name. Obj is equal to new class name of, and I'll try to call the method obj dot show. Is it clear? Obj dot show method. Yes or no? As I told you that we cannot directly execute the DLL file. So I'm consuming the DLL file in the executable project. Press F5. Check the output. I'm trying to consume the DLL file in console application. So I think you understood. We created a separate DLL file and import the DLL file under references and then execute the DLL file in my application. Let us see here. So that's what I'm trying to execute this one. I am sure. So here one point I want to confirm that as I already told you that private assembly is a folder specific assembly. So here if you just go to your F drive, there you can see my assembly folder, the location where your project is saved. I think I create the project in this folder, my assembly. There you can see consume DLL. There you can see bin. There you can see debug. There you can see my DLL.dll file. So what I'm telling here is this is my DLL file. So I'm consuming the DLL file in any of the other project. So the size of this DLL file is 4 KB. Now I'm trying to consume the DLL file in console project. So whenever you consume the DLL file, a separate copy of the DLL file is copied in this folder. How many times you will consume? Every time this file is copied. That is about private assembly. The assembly that was specific for a single application or a specific folder. The type of assembly is called as private assembly. Private assembly is also called as folder specific assembly. A separate copy of the DLL file is copied in each and every particular folder. That is about your private assembly. Is it clear, everyone? The assembly that was specific for a single application or a specific folder, that assembly is called as private assembly. Okay, next one is public assembly. I already told you public assembly means the assembly that was registered under GAC location is called as public assembly. GAC, what is GAC? GAC means Global Assembly Cache. What is GAC? Full form of GAC is Global Assembly Cache. Is it clear? So how to register? Now here I will ask where is GAC location? These questions they will ask in interview. Where is GAC location? Means you can keep the DLL file in a global location so that when you consume the DLL it will not copy in your particular folder. Okay, you can go to your C drive. There you can go to Windows folder. There you can go to assembly. There you can see GAC. There you can see GAC underscore MSIL. This is your GAC location. Now create one DLL file, keep this DLL file in this location. Then that will become as a public assembly. This is a location actual. C drive Windows folder assembly GAC underscore MSIL. Is it clear? Now let us see. In order to register the DLL file, in order to register DLL file, in order to register .dll file in GAC location, we need to create strong name. We need to create strong name and public key token. Strong name and public key token. It is a unique identification number given for each and every DLL file. Let us see how to register. So here I think we created one DLL file, my DLL. Yes or no? Here I create my DLL. Now I want to register the DLL file in GAC location. Let us see how to register the DLL file in GAC location. Yes or no? Just 2 more steps you have to add. Then automatically your DLL file is kept in that GAC location. Here let us see here. This is my DLL file. Okay. Now in order to register the DLL file in GAC, what to do? You have to create one strong name and a public key token. So here you can go to project. There you can see my DLL properties. Here you can select debug. Here you can see signing. Here you can see signing. Select the signing, check the checkbox. Sign the assembly. Choose. Here you can select new, and here you can create a key file name. The name I'll give as mykey.snk. SNK means strong name key. If you want to protect your DLL file, you can give the password, otherwise uncheck. And click on OK. Now my DLL is eligible to register under GAC. Not yet registered, eligible to register. Next, build the solution. Eligible to register. Is it clear? Now here you can open your build succeeded. Very good. So rebuild the solution. Very good. Now I will try to open my developer command prompt. So my requirement is to register this DLL file in the GAC. Not yet registered. Got the permission to register. Okay. So here you can go to your Visual Studio developer command prompt. Here you can type developer command prompt for VS 2015. Here you can check here developer prompt for VS 2015. Is it clear? Here I think you right click on this command prompt and run as administrator. Administrator permission is required to run this command prompt. Then only you will get the permission to keep the DLL file under GAC location. Okay, so I'll try to again open something like Visual Studio 2015. Sorry, developer command prompt for VS 2015. It is a command prompt actually. Okay, but we have to open this command prompt in administrator mode. Then only we'll get permission. So interviewer will ask you mostly what is GAC. Means you can simply tell global assembly cache. Is it clear? GAC is global assembly cache. It is used to register the DLL file globally. If you want to place the DLL file globally, you have to keep the DLL file under GAC location. It is opening slowly. Sorry for that. Here you can see developer command prompt for VS 2015. Right click, run as administrator. Click on yes. You have to type one command so that the DLL file will successfully register under GAC location. Click on yes. Okay. Now, what is the syntax to register the DLL file in GAC means GAC util space -v -i actually. GAC util space -i space give the path of the DLL file. So here you can see where is your DLL located. F drive. I think my assembly folder is there. My assembly. In this one you have my DLL. In this one you have bin debug, and this is your DLL. Copy the path, and here you try to paste it. Copy the path of the DLL, and here you right click and paste it. Slash, you can give the name of the DLL, my DLL.dll. Okay, now press enter. GAC util space -i and enter the path of the DLL. Now assembly is successfully added to the cache. Now let us see here. Go to your C drive. Go to your program. Actually, if you go to your C drive program files, there you can see GAC location. Your my DLL file must exist in that location. But actually now the problem is I have not created a separate DLL. Already I am creating one private DLL. That is the reason it may not be available. Did you understand everyone? I have done some modification in the existing private DLL only. Generally, if you create, you can go to Windows folder. There you can see assemblies. There you can see GAC MSIL. There you can find this DLL file, my DLL.dll file. Okay, but actually it is not available here. The problem is already I created the previous DLL as private DLL, so that was the problem. You cannot see here. Did you understood? So if you want to create like a private DLL, public DLL, you can get one more DLL, you can consume it. Here you can see, if you want, I will do for you. File new project, and here what I will do, here you can see. Select class library template, creating a new project. Sir, why this DLL is not working means already I saved this one as a private DLL. No, once when the build is completed, again it is not possible to convert into public DLL. Select class library. Here I'll give the name as public DLL. Here you see public DLL. Click on OK. So this is my DLL file. One more DLL I'm creating. This is public DLL. One more project I'm creating. Now I want to register this public DLL in GAC location. Same steps again. Here you can give the name of the class as A. Here I will declare one method, public void show. Is it clear? So here I will try to print console.writeLine of I am show. Now don't build. Go to project. Before build only you create the strong name SNK file. Select signing, and here you can select check the checkbox sign the assembly, and here you can go to new. Here select the key file mykey.snk, and no need of password. Click on OK. Now my DLL file is ready. Okay, here the file name also, if you want, you can change as a.cs. My DLL file is ready. You do all these steps before build only. At the end you can build the project. Okay everyone. So here you can see build the solution. Now where is your project is saved? Same drive I think. Here if you want to know the location of the project, right click on the solution, open folder in File Explorer, so that you can see the location where your DLL is saved. Go to public DLL bin debug. Here your DLL is ready. Copy the URL. Now I want to register. Now here you got the eligibility to register the DLL file in GAC. Now I'll try to register. Open your command prompt, and here I'll try to write GAC util space -i space path of the DLL file, and here you can give the name as, what is the name of the DLL? Public DLL.dll. Public DLL.dll. Here you can give public DLL.dll. Press enter. Now assembly successfully added to the cache. Now go to your C drive. There you can see Windows. There you can see assembly. There you can see GAC_MSIL. There you can see something like public DLL.dll must exist here somewhere. Is it there? I think C drive program files. There you see, once wait. There you can see Microsoft.net. There you can see, not this location, users, no, Windows Microsoft.net, not assembly. Under Windows Microsoft.net, there you can see assembly. There you can see GAC_MSIL. There you can see your DLL, public DLL. Sorry, I think I selected the wrong one. Here it must be existing somewhere. Yes, here public DLL is there. What is the previous DLL? My DLL is also there. Huh? Let us see once. This is my GAC location. Don't confuse actually. Yes, my DLL is also there. So this is the location. We selected the location wrong. This is the perfect location. Don't confuse. This is the GAC location. Where is GAC location means not this one. This is the location. Go to C drive, Windows folder, Microsoft.NET Assembly GAC underscore MSIL. Now, whenever you consume this DLL file, see. Now, whenever you consume the public DLL, what will happen? Let us see. In order to consume the DLL, we have to add the references. DLL under references. So here you can see right click on references. So my DLL is public DLL. Add reference. Now I will try to select the DLL file from GAC location. So go to browse. Here you can see. Go to browse. Here you can select browse. And there you can go to GAC location and select the DLL so that the DLL file will not copy in each and every particular folder. See, go to your my computer. There you can go to C drive. There you can find Windows folder. We know the GAC location. There you can find Microsoft.NET. Don't confuse with the path. There you can find assembly. Select GAC underscore MSIL and here you can select the public DLL. I am trying to add the DLL file from GAC location. Select the version, select the DLL, click on add button. Okay, now click on OK. Yes or no? See the difference between private DLL and public DLL. Using output wise both are same. Performance point of view I can show you the difference. Using something like public DLL. Here I'll try to create an object public DLL dot. My class name I'll try to give A. Obj is equal to new dash of. And here I'll try to call obj dot show. Now press F5, you will get the same output. But what is the difference is, if you just go to your F drive, there you can see my assembly folder. There you can see my assembly folder. Is it clear? There you can see something like my assembly folder is there. There you can find your application, your actually my console application I have to go. Okay, once you can check here. Once you can check here, right click on the console, go to open folder in file explorer. Now here you can see, go to bin debug. There you can see the DLL file is not copied. That is about public assembly. I hope you understood. And one more important question they will ask in interview related to assemblies. I will mention that question also. What is ILDASM? ILDASM .exe. The full form of ILDASM is Intermediate Language Disassembler. Intermediate Language Disassembler. This is one more important question. And in interview, what is the use of this ILDASM means? It is used to view the information of DLL file. Similarly, in interview they'll ask you what is reflection also. It is also one of the important interview question. It is also same answer. It is used to view the information of the DLL file programmatically by writing some code. Is it clear? Means here what happened? DLL consists of lot of predefined classes, methods, namespace, etc. If you want to view the information of the DLL file, you have to use this concept called reflection. I hope you understood. This is the topic of assemblies. For more videos, try to subscribe to my channel. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.